Bonjour, coucou, bienvenue, welcome everybody to my French life twice weekly installments of weekday wanderings in Paris. Welcome to the 4th arrondissement, le 4e. We are currently at the Place des Vosges. I've just been to this lovely cafe which is called Cafe Hugo. Okay, our theme for today is Victor Hugo. So we're at the Place des Vosges in the 4th arrondissement. Good morning, Jen. Well, good evening for you. How are you today? Who else do we have today? I'm going to flip my camera around and show you where we're heading. So this is Place des Vosges. So this is a lovely area of Paris. It's an area I'm not really familiar with. I've only been a few times, so I thought it was high time that I come see it. So basically it's a courtyard. Salut Judy! It's a courtyard of beautiful buildings from the 1600s. So this courtyard goes all the way around. And all of these buildings have the same colour scheme. They have these beautiful arcades. And in the middle is this gorgeous garden. Hello, sweetheart Jen. Okay, so I'm going through the middle of the gardens. And look at these beautiful trees which provide lovely shade. And they have these beautiful fountains. So there's 4 fountains, one at each corner of the garden. Look at these very iconic looking lights. The spirals, love it. Love the hair. Good morning, Margaret Redrup. Thank you. I'm glad you like the hair. I'm beginning to look like my mother now, aren't I? Right. Fountains. So people who are used to this part of a town rave about this place, and I can see why. I can understand it. It's a great place to come for picnics, for exercising. There's little sand pits over here for kids. Wonderful here. Thank you, Judy. Yeah, so I said to somebody, I look 10 years younger and 10 kgs lighter, if that's possible. Right, we have an impressive statue here. Who's this man? It's Louis the 13th, I believe. Yes, Louis the 13th. There was a bronze statue there that was erected in 1639, and this replaces that one. Okay, so Louis the 13th was king from 1610 to 1643. Alright. So like I said, today our theme is Victor Hugo. Now Victor Hugo's house is actually in this corner of Place des Vosges. We're not going to point this camera that way because of the sun. We're going to stick in this direction here. And I'm actually planning on heading there after our talk. So the house of Victor Hugo, well, first of all, Victor Hugo was noted as probably being one of the greatest French writers of all time. He was obviously a prolific writer, but he was also very political. He was a member of the National Assembly and the Senate. And his life was involved with a bit of political intrigue at various times. He was very vocal in the anti-slavery, so he was an abolitionist, and he was a monarchist to begin with, and then later in life he became very much anti-monarchist and very much for the Republic. And because he's viewed as such a huge and significant person in French history, he was the first non-military person to be inducted to the Pantheon. which is a huge honour. So there's an exhibition going on at the Panthéon to honour him, which I haven't been to, but that would be something to see. So I'm just taking you to this corner. So this is, let's see, the southwest corner of the Place des Vosges, and this is called the Hôtel de Sully. Never actually been in here before, but this is the garden side of it, which is beautiful. Let's have a look at this building a bit closer. Isn't it gorgeous? Okay, I think you can walk through here, but I'm not going to because I don't want to get in there and then find that I can't go that way. But we'll go this way because I want to show you the arcades. So these are the arcades around Place des Vosges. Really beautiful. So around Place des Vosges we have cafes, museums, schools. Of course, this is where we're heading towards Maison Victor Hugo. But we won't go down that far. I very much like this. This is obviously somebody who doesn't have a home, but they've set up a beautiful home here for themselves, which is great. The thing about this part of Paris, I suppose you could say the same about every part of Paris, but it's so old. You can see history is just right there in front of you. So we're heading out of Place des Vosges now. I will head back later and I will take photos at the house of Victor Hugo. Okay, so we're going down towards St. Paul. I actually started at St. Paul and there were several things I wanted to show you there. And then I realised that if I walked in this direction, you would have the sun in your eyes. So I started where I was intending to finish, and we'll head back that way. Not sure how far we'll get though. Let's see how we go. Okay, so lovely little street. The boutiques you have in this area are really lovely. This area, well, this is the Marais, was very popular for artisans, especially the Jewish community. So you have a lot of antique shops. There's a silver antique shop. Beautiful cafes, jewelers, really interesting quirky stores. It's a lovely area. Okay, so now we're on Rue Saint-Antoine, and I just love being here, mainly because my son's name is Antoine, and just being here reminds me of him. So we have a great big church down here, which I'm going to go visit later. That is the, I believe, the Protestant church. And we're going to head down this way. So spring is in the air. Well, probably more like summer's in the air. It's starting to get really warm. As well as getting rid of my hair, I've started changing over to my summer wardrobe. So I'm going to be getting a bit of sun now, which is great. And as you can see, the rest of Paris is getting ready for summer as well. Okay. So like I said, this area is really, really old. A lot of the buildings are super old. And I love to see that. Oh, one note about Victor Hugo. The Place des Vosges is so called. It was originally called the Palais Royal, but we know we already have a Palais Royal. I guess that was named after the fact. So originally it was called Palais Royal, and then it the name got changed to Place des Vosges, and I'm thinking that's something to do with Victor Hugo and the fact that his house is there. Here we have the 8june2021. So we looked at the garden of this before, so we saw this from the other entrance. So I'll just quickly show you this. And the detail on this building is just incredible. It's really lovely. You can imagine that's the stables where the horses used to park up back in the day. And the garden that we just saw before is right through there. Okay, let's go this way. 8june2021 is superb. Judy, can you tell me about it, please? Because I understand you can you go in the building? That's the first time I've been there, so I'm not sure myself. So I do have lots of other things on the agenda today, but I would be interested in knowing more about it and going back and exploring more. So if there's any other things around this neighbourhood that people are keen on telling me about, please do. But I guess some of you haven't been here. Like Margaret, you haven't been here, I don't think. Look at this old building with a little bit of new chucked in. Right, I better wait for a green man. Oh no, I think I can sneak across without getting killed. This is the Rue de Turin. He was the Maréchal of France. So the street names are quite useful because, you know, if you don't really know who people are or bits of history, you can just look on the street sign and it kind of gives you a little bit of information, which is nice. So I wanted to show you just very quickly this church here. It's so beautiful, and I saw photos of the interior the other day and went, wow, I have to go there. Sorry if it gets too not open to the public. Judy says the 8june2021 is not open to the public. Okay, thank you. Good to know. I didn't want to walk in there and make a fool of myself, so thank you for that. Okay, so this is Saint Paul Saint Louis, the Église Saint Paul Saint Louis. So yes, I saw photos of this, of the interior, and it looked absolutely stunning, and I thought I have to go there. So I will go there, but I will take photos and show you that, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to cross the road over here. And head this way. Again, let's try and get across without getting run over. Blah. I hope my video is not too wobbly for you. Sorry, we're going to have sun in our eyes for a couple of moments. Jackie, I'm wrong. 8june2021 houses the head office of the Centre of Monuments Nationaux and is not open for visits. It is, however, possible to cross the courtyard and the garden during business hours between 9 AM and 7 PM and to gain access to the Place des Vosges. Thank you for that. That's very good information. I will keep that in mind for my return journey. Okay, so we're out of the sun now. Okay. So again, this is what the Marais is very popular for these beautiful old narrow streets, these beautiful little cafes. Quirky little stores. Look at this one, selling all sorts of you know, things people chuck away. I mean, who needs a ferret, a stuffed ferret? So yeah, lots of really cute things. Okay, I really hope I'm not making you all dizzy. Passage Saint-Paul, look at that. I'll take a photo of it, but the doorway down there, isn't it fantastic? I believe that goes into the back of the church. Okay. Love that street. What's its name? It's the Rue Saint-Paul. Look at this. Yeah. Rue Saint-Paul. Okay. Rue Saint-Paul. Right, trying to get down to this little corner here. It's gotten really busy all of a sudden. It wasn't like this half an hour ago when I was here. So excuse the congestion and the noise. Are we going to Village Saint-Paul? Look at this. Isn't this cute? So like I was saying, there's this was an area where a lot of Jewish people lived, and as a consequence a lot of families were ripped away during the La Rafle, which is when it was called the Roundup in English, during the occupation of France in Paris during World War II. A lot of Jewish families were literally rounded up and sent to Auschwitz, and of course we know what happened there. So memorials around for those families who were destroyed. It's really sad part of Paris history, which is really, really tragic. An important memorial. Let me just read that one. Yes, it is indeed. I love this wrought iron. Isn't it amazing? Okay, so which street are we on now? We're in Rue Charlemagne. Rue Charlemagne. Of course, Charlemagne was the Holy Roman Emperor, and also the first king of the Franks. So he's probably considered the first kind of French king. Not quite, but yes. So Charlemagne, roi des Francs, Empereur d'Occident. So 742 to 814. So a really long time ago. This is a contemporary fountain dedicated to him. So this is the Fontaine Charlemagne. But it was built in 1840. Okay. And a little bit of trivia, that little face of the cherub there, apparently it's modelled on Victor Hugo's face when he was a kid. That's what I read. Okay. Oh, another thing I forgot to tell you, Place des Vosges was believed so named for the fact that Victor Hugo was conceived in the Vosges Mountains, which I thought was an interesting piece of trivia. Right, I really wanted to show you this. In my previous talks when we were at the Panthéon and on the Montagne Saint-Geneviève. Yeah, I know, the statue is pretty cool, huh? I was talking about the enceinte de Philippe Auguste. So the very, very old city wall which was built around Paris at the end of the 1100s, 1200s. So this wall was built in 1190, and so Philippe Auguste, who was the king at the time, he went away on the Crusades, and so he had this enormous city wall built around Paris, and most of it has been destroyed, but there are some pieces that remain, and this is one of them. So this this wall here, it was built like that. That just blows my mind. I love that. So it's a very old wall. Okay. So yeah. And of course we're still on Rue Charlemagne here. So this is a school here. Hence all the children. That's a college in fact, and the lycée is just behind us. Another little bit of trivia about Victor Hugo. Do you know his most famous work? It's Les Miserables. So if you are a fan of Les Miserables, which I am, you know that the main character's name was Jean Valjean, and he was a prisoner, and his prisoner name or number was 24601, and that number is quite funny. I thought that number actually means 24th of the 6th 1801, which was the date that Victor Hugo was conceived, and that's the reason he gave that number to Jean Valjean in his book. I thought that was a funny piece of trivia. Okay, here you can see examples of where the names have been changed. So this one is Rue Charlemagne, but it used to be Rue des Prêtres. It's actually Prêtres. So if you see an E in the French language with a little hat over it, a circumflex, that means that in the old form there was an S after it. So that's Prêtre or Prestre. And that's a lovely little ruelle, a small street that heads down to St. Paul as well. Okay. Okay. Now I've just noticed the time, Judy, and I was hoping that we would get down to the Rue du Pont Philippe Auguste, Louis Philippe, but I think we're actually running out of time. So I might have to leave it here. What do you think? Look at this beautiful little statue. We'll head along here and you can tell me. Don't worry about the time, keep going. Yay! Thank you. Okay. So this is heading towards Hôtel de Ville, this sort of general area here. And I forgot to mention, when we were in front of the churches, the Presbyterian church that I was pointing to, or the Protestant church, so obviously it was a while ago, sorry, that headed down towards Bastille, which of course is famous for the French Revolution, the first French Revolution, in 1789. That's where the Bastille prison was. And now it's a very cool place for bars and young people, and it's a hip place to be. So it's not far from the Marais. Also, my favourite pub is there, and that's called the Black Sheep Society. Doing a bit of plug for the Black Sheep Society, run by some Kiwis. Awesome. Oh, they also do dues for the local Australians too, just so we get a bit of an Australian plug in there. Okay. Who likes araignée de mer? Librairie, which of course is a bookshop in French. People think it's a library. It's not, it's a bookshop. And of course a library in French is called a bibliothèque. Okay, so we're on Rue François Miron. I was hoping we would make it this far because there's a couple of things I wanted to show you here. Just a tip for those of you who haven't been to Paris and want to, or haven't been often and want to come back. In my opinion, just getting a Navigo pass and using the regular city bus route is the best way of seeing Paris, apart from walking, of course, because you can sit on the bus and travel around and see the most amazing things. There is a street somewhere near there which specialises in paper goods, artisanal products. Probably, and I have no idea where. I will look it up though, okay? Now, I wanted to show you this. Okay, these two buildings here are the oldest wooden structures, buildings in Paris. Aren't they amazing? They are so old. Let me quickly show them to you. Agree, catching buses is really awesome. I love it. I always prefer to take the bus over the metro because when you're on the bus you get to look at stuff. Okay, so these houses were built 14th century. That's a really long time ago, so in the 1300s. So there are two buildings that still exist here. This one is Maison à l'enseigne de Mouton. Okay, so the maison under the sign of the sheep. And this one under the sign of the fauché, which is like a mower. You know, what do you call it? Old Father Time has a great sickle, that's it. Fauché, someone with a sickle. Produit exotique. Vin du monde. Interesting. Okay, we've got here, Judy, Rue du Pont Louis-Philippe. Okay, so from here, I will finish here, but I'll just show you a few things before we leave. I've shown you this place before. This is Au Merveilleur de Fred. They do these amazing things called les merveilleurs, which are meringues which have creme around them and then dipped in delicious ingredients. So look, you can actually watch them making them. So they start with a meringue, they put some cream on it, they put two of them together, sandwich them together, and then they put them in the topping of choice. There are various flavours. Some are chocolate, some are, what's this one, caramelized nuts. And you can buy like an assortment of them. These are the little ones, but then you can also buy the big ones. They're incredibly decadent. And every one of their shops had these amazing chandeliers. So I showed you one down Rue Daguerre when we were there. Okay, and if we look in the distance here is the Panthéon. So you can see it's up a hill. Okay, so anywhere down here you want to have a look at, Judy? We have to see that patisseries are your favourite. You think? I appreciate them immensely. Okay, Judy, is there any direction you would like me to go? We are very nearby the Shoah, the Mémorial de Shoah. So I should really go there and show you that. Although I'm a little bit disoriented at the moment. Okay, let's head down this way. But I should probably sign off about now because we have been half an hour, which is a really long time. Oh, Anne's just signed on. Hello, Anne. It's lovely to see you. I know why we're here. Because if you're a cyclist, there's this place called Le Peloton Cafe. It's specially for cyclists, and it's run by or owned by a New Zealander, so that's always a bonus. Okay, where shall we head? Ah, here we go. I went past the shore. So I think that might be a good place to finish. Le Peloton, super. Did you know about that, Judy? You've never seen have you seen it before? Oh, the Memorial de Show is down that way. No, it's not. It's here. Voila. So this is where the Memorial de Shoah is, and they have an exhibition on about homosexuals and lesbians in Nazi Europe. Good to know. So I don't know if Anne Beckinsale is here, but we promised each other that we would come here together. Okay, look at that, Star of David, isn't it great? So on the wall here are the names of all of the Jews killed. Sorry, I have the sun in your eyes. So this one's after the war, yes, 1964. That's the first one here. Okay, so here we go, Memorial de Shoah. So not sure if it's open, but I will not be going here because I'm waiting for Anne to come back. And of course across the river there is the Ile Saint-Louis. Okay. Voila. Okay, I think I've taken more than enough of your time this morning. Thank you for your patience with me. I hope you've seen some things that are interesting and maybe want to know more about. You could look them up. I'll try and post as much additional information as possible. And if you're here sometime in the future, come exploring with me. I'd love that. So thank you again. I hope you have a fantastic day, evening, night, whatever. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Actually, Thursday. I have something very special for Thursday. I might actually book it as a weekday wandering, but change it to Thursday rather than Friday because I've got something special to do. So we'll look out for you on Thursday, okay? Thank you very much. I've just seen Jackie just came on. I've just missed her. Okay, so take care. Have a wonderful time of day wherever you are. Don't forget to check us out on Binge on Paris and on the Facebook, well obviously you're on Facebook already, on myfrenchlife.org and on YouTube. Okay, take care, bye.